Good evening from Washington. I'm Tom George, and here's a look at tonight's headlines. Tragedy in Indiana. State officials are looking for answers after the stage collapsed at the Indiana State Fair Saturday, killing 5 people. A 60-mile-per-hour windstorm struck the crowd before officials could evacuate them. The fair reopened today, and an investigation is underway into what happened. Now to the race for the White House in Iowa, where the first-in-the-nation caucuses take place next year. Texas Governor Rick Perry made the rounds at the Iowa State Fair after officially entering the race for the GOP nomination. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann won the Republican Ames, Iowa straw poll, solidifying her edge in the Hawkeye state. After a poor showing in the poll, Tim Pawlenty ended his campaign, saying he no longer had a, quote, pathway forward. All this as President Obama began a 3-state bus tour of the Midwest discussing jobs and the economy. The trip comes as Obama faces the lowest approval rating of his presidency, at just 39%. And in economic news, billionaire investor Warren Buffett weighed in on the nation's tax policy in a New York Times op-ed, arguing that the wealthiest Americans, like himself, should pay more in taxes, saying, quote, "My friends and I have been coddled enough by a billionaire-friendly Congress. It's time for government to get serious about shared sacrifice." And web giant Google is now stepping into the cell phone market. Google has acquired Motorola Mobility for $12.5 billion, allowing Google to move forward with its popular Android platform. The move would put Google in direct competition with Apple's iPhone. And finally tonight, a new study published by the American Center for Pediatrics is shedding light on the link between autism and siblings. The study shows that a child's risk of being diagnosed with autism is almost 20% if an older sibling has autism. For boys, the rate is higher at 26%. And for children with 2 autistic siblings, the risk goes up to 32%. The study should help parents with infants with autistic siblings, as early diagnosis can give a child better prospects for treatment. That's all for now. For all of us at NBC News, have a good night. More news later here and on MSNBC.com.